Welcome back, and this is part two. At this point, we're going to talk about how we support and prepare students for the college application campaign event. We use a student support framework. We use the ideas of one, sharing information and building awareness, providing individualized advising, assisting with application completion, engaging families and community, and making decisions and plan ahead. These are the ways that we are able to enhance the school college going culture. Individualized advising is critical for understanding whether a student's finances will impinge on their ability to build a big list for their colleges, or whether they just simply need to qualify for a fee waiver for applying to college. Assisting with college application completion. Check with your post-secondary education partners. Find out if they have already started recording or have on their website a video that explains how to go through the application step by step so it can be complete. Engaging families and community make this a holistic event. We don't want students to do this in a vacuum. We think it's important for families and the entire community to stand behind their students and encourage them to move on. Making decisions and planning ahead is a really critical step. It's a step towards maturity. I do think that there are a lot of students in the world who are totally afraid to make a decision for fear it's going to be the wrong one. I would say make the wrong decision and then figure out what the next right decision is. So what do you need to do? How do you need to prepare students? Well, they need to research institutions and other opportunities. They need to apply to, reach, target, and likely post-secondary options with a focus on match, fit, and cost. They need to complete the FAFSA, commit to a plan, and celebrate, feel celebrated, and celebrate themselves, their accomplishments. It is not an easy process to apply to college, find a match, and attend. They need to know they are being celebrated along the way. So how do you do this? Well, the first thing that students usually need, seniors and or juniors, is a college going checklist. Your state may have already developed such a checklist, and that's great. Use that because that fits with your, that's going to align with your goals and with your state's stated learning objectives. However, if you do not have one, you can find one from our group at https://myoptions.org/fall senior college checklist. I think one of the other things you have to consider is how are you going to communicate regularly with the students? How are you going to inform them of this process? What can you do? Do you want to have a Monday morning wake-up call that comes to them, that shows up on the school website, or you have a special note going to them that gives them the tip of the day or the tip of the week or the assignment of the week? And then lastly, you need to decide how you will keep records of student progress, especially when you're doing this remotely as they complete their tasks. Some of the ideas we've heard from some of our state coordinators is to use short how-to videos of no more than 5 minutes that they can download on their phones. Making things cell phone appropriate or accessible might be the best way to reach the majority of your students, and especially those students who come from low-income families and are the first generation. So you can have some quick conversations about how do you go about researching institutions and building a college list, or collecting information that's required on applications. Encourage students to take skills, values, and interest inventories. And they're found all over the web. You can download 1 or 2. They don't cost anything, and just sort of ferret out what is the person best able to do? What do they care the most about? And then what interest inspires passion in them? Completing applications is a great little short video. Again, if your higher education partners have these videos already prepared, then by all means, you should encourage students to watch them. But you might want to also give them some pro tips, such as don't forget to sign your application. How about being sure that you know how to ask for a transcript so that it goes to the campus? How many recommendations do you need? Is there a personal essay you need to write? These are ways that students may create an incomplete application and don't realize it. So you can give them those straightforward strategies. And as I said earlier, do ensure that these videos are cell phone accessible. Also, check with your state coordinator and or higher ed partners for any existing or planned resources that might meet these needs. No need to make new videos if one already exists. We think it's really useful to use free online curriculum that focuses on the college and career readiness process. Now, many of your states will have already developed a college and career readiness curriculum, so you should check with your Department of Public Instruction to see if there's one available and free and online. In addition, the American College Application Campaign has created a pre-college and career readiness curriculum. It's available under our K-12 resources on our website. That site is listed here. Another factor to consider when students are thinking about their college list is that they match, fit, and check the cost. Match means, does the college match with your academic record? Is this a campus that, because of my grades, because of any test scores I may or may not use, I am a likely candidate. I'm not a likely candidate, that I match what the majority of those students look like. Fit is, does it match, does it work with my preferences? Is it large enough? Is it far enough away from home? Is it close enough to home? Is it a residential campus? Is it a commuter campus? And then lastly, cost. How does the cost work for you? That's a very personal and family-oriented question. So those are factors to consider when building college lists. In addition to the curriculum that we have available, we also have a college research worksheet, an application worksheet with all the commonly asked questions, so students can gather things like their social security number, answer residency questions, get their grades for their courses together, think about what extracurricular activities they've been a part of. We have a college application fee waiver worksheet, and we have the College Match and Fit Toolkit, which takes students step by step through figuring out which schools meet their needs. Other free research platforms include myoptions.org and myOptions Encourage. I'll tell you a little bit more about those in a minute. We do recommend that students utilize national and or state virtual college fairs, particularly in the coming year. NACAC is having a number of dates that they are hosting virtual college fairs. Students need to go to the website and register for one of the dates or more if they'd like to attend them. They can participate in virtual college visits. Many campuses have invested in virtual college tours that are rather savvy and quite sophisticated. So I would recommend that students look on the website of any campus they're considering and see what kind of college tour they have. Then lastly, you might want to see if you've got close by post-secondary partners, local community college, a local four-year school, a technical school that would be willing to host virtual information nights for students and families over Zoom or some other platform. I was telling you a little bit about myOptions. These two free platforms, one for students, myOptions, and one for educators, myOptions Encourage. On these platforms, students and educators can connect. It allows educators to monitor the progress of a student as they research colleges and build a list. They can see where the student is in an application process, how much they've completed of their FAFSA, as well as be aware of what supplementary application materials need to be submitted to colleges. Another one, if you have students in school, if you're lucky enough to see them face-to-face at any point, you might want to think about using the 6-foot social distancing markers with college-going messages. You see one here that you are college material, 6 feet apart, same sort of thing we're seeing in grocery stores or in other shopping venues. These can be very useful for you to keep that college-going message alive in your students. Here's some other ideas. Make a plan for education after high school. There is a college for you. Invest in yourself. Apply to college. And then one of our all-time favorites, keep calm and apply to college. If you do have students in school, use school announcements to share steps, resources, and supports available for the college-going process. If you have ways to visually remind students about the events that are coming up, then do that. Hang banners, put it on the school website, message it on the school marquee outside. That's a way to inform the community and to inform your students and to remind them that these steps are crucial. I think it's really important that there's a unified message in your building. Remind everyone if they can have a simple message somewhere in their classroom or outside in the hallway. Higher education remains the best investment students can make. And it's critical that we keep pressing this message because of all the reasons that I told you at the beginning. It makes us economically competitive. It helps us address racial equity. It also ensures employability. We want to engage the community in sharing encouragement and supportive messages. So we've seen fast food restaurants around the country who would use the SAT or ACT vocabulary word of the day and post it on their marquee sign outside of their restaurant. We can have them put dates up. We can have them just say, keep going, you're going to make it. Congratulations, class of 2021. Those kinds of community involvements reminds everyone of the hard work being done in our high schools and in our middle schools and elementary schools to keep this nation running. And then finally, it creates not just a college-going culture in your school building, it creates a college-going buzz in your community. So this is the end of part 2. Again, this is a great opportunity for you to stop the video if you have other things you need to do and come back to it later and pick up with the next part.